Those of you who are unfamiliar with Warhammer 40,000, let me give you the elevator pitch. Imagine, if you will, a game that contains literally every cool thing ever conceived by the human brain. If you've drawn it on the back of your notebook while bored in school, it's in this game. We've got giant robots, we've got big alien monsters, we've got planet-spanning, galaxy-spanning Imperial forces clashing with each other. We've got orcs, we've got elves, but they're not called elves. And in particular, we've got these large, currently red lads in super power armor with cool guns and big fists and all this stuff. And you can buy it. You can go to a Games Workshop near you and you can pay them a large amount of money and walk away with a plastic representation of your 14-year-old dreams. That 40k has a lot of nostalgia for me because I started it when I was that age, having not been able to do much gaming prior to that in my childhood, and it was something of a creative lifeline. And as a result, I have a lot of nostalgia for it, and I tend to keep an eye out for 40k games that look like they'll be anything above halfway decent, and scoop them up just to give them a try. And it is with this in mind that I bring you to my honest opinions on Warhammer 40,000: Battlesector, an incredibly generic name for what turns out to be an actually really solid game that I think is quite easy to overlook. This is a turn-based strategy game that's actually quite heavily based on the tabletop version, I think. It plays like larger scale XCOM in some ways, in that You've got your squad of dudes and they can move across this grid map. I say dudes because the Space Marines are all men, because this game was made in like the 80s. Not this computer game, the universe of Warhammer 40,000. But you can take your dudes and move them across this grid. And you can, it's turn-based. There's kind of an action point system where you can interweave your unit actions, so you can sequence things from A to B. But it doesn't have quite the same level of resource attrition as XCOM, and less complicated meta progression. What it has instead is more detailed and what I personally consider more satisfying combat mechanics, and a cool sort of army building system that's drawn straight from the actual tabletop version. So I'm just going to fire up a skirmish. I played through the campaign of this game. I would say it took me about 30 hours. I probably should have checked before making this video. For that, I apologize. I'll put it in the description afterwards. The campaign sees you starting out with a small squad, or set of squads, and then expanding your army until you've got this big combined arms force. And you can customize it at any point, basically. You can swap units in and out. You can change the composition of your army to experiment with different builds. And then in Skirmish, you can build your army from scratch. If you've never played a tabletop wargame, a lot of them, including the Games Workshop ones, go by this sort of point system, where your army has a certain fixed allocation of points, and every different unit, every upgrade for those units costs a certain amount of points. So on the left, you can see there's a variety of different units. There's like 15 in total. Some of them are individual heroes. Like this is like a lieutenant who can lead the army. There's a big robot with a psychic man in it who's mostly dead. There's a big robot with a non-psychic man in it who's mostly dead. These are cool. And then you get the special stuff, and then you come down to like, here is a basic Space Marine. That's what they're called, Space Marines, with a basic gun. And here's one with more armor and so on. And each of these costs a different amount of points that you can see at the top. So this basically gives you, it's like a balancing tool. In theory, any equivalent number of points of units from any individual faction is equal to any other in terms of battlefield prowess. Obviously, synergy and things like the metagame mess with that formula somewhat. And you can have some interesting debates that probably out of scope for this video about, whether point systems are valid and whatnot, but they work really well for this game, I think. It's quite nice to have a game that has a campaign where you take your persistent army that allows you to just mix stuff up. You can just take things out if you don't like them. You can put things in. You can put them back in when you've unlocked some upgrades to make them less bad and so on. This is very cool. So here I've gone for like a reasonably balanced mix of things. I've gone for a couple big units, gone for a couple heroes, and then I've gone for some various different kinds of troops to hopefully show off some of the different things you can do in this game. Our opponents will be the Tyranids, a horde of kind of alien bugs. Let me select my army correctly. There we go. A horde of alien bugs led by the largest and smartest of them, which mesh the others into a synaptic net to act as a hive mind. I used to have a lot of Tyranids, like the real plastic ones and metal ones. I at some point downsized my miniature collection because I wasn't playing it anymore / very often. But these things have a very special place in my heart to this day. Also, if you're a fan of the Alien movies, you'll probably recognize some elements of the design. Looks like we've got some options here. We can pick a map. We can pick some objectives. Exterminatus is 40k pseudo-Latin for kill everything, I think. I'm probably not going to play the entire mission, depending on how long it takes. I'll just play enough to give an idea of the gameplay and the feel of it. So here we have a deployment zone. You can pan the camera in this game with WASD or NOS, and you can look around. The middle mouse button, standard stuff. I played through the entire campaign without realizing you can actually rearrange the units in your deployment zone. I didn't know how to do it because the game doesn't tell you for some reason. You drag and drop. There we go. So I'm going to put this at the front because, as you can tell, it's large and therefore tanky. We'll take these. These are kind of a frontliner unit. We'll put them at the front as well. We'll take my Sanguinary Priest, fancy word for healer. Put that near the front. The hero units have they're usually good in close combat, so getting them forward is useful. This Landspeeder, which is like I recognize them from Star Wars. Only this one has guns on it. So these are like fast-moving scout units. This one, the Landspeeder Tornado, is a version with an extra gun in favor of slightly slower movement. We'll take these Inceptors. These are like jump pack units with close-range pistols. We've got another jump pack unit here that have chainsaws or chainswords. Again, for those of you not familiar with 40k, if it's cool, it's in the game. You know what's cooler than a sword? A chainsaw sword. So that's a standard weapon for the Space Marines. The high-tech surgical military arm of one of the larger, well, the galaxy-spanning human empire that is one of the factions in the game. Doesn't matter if it's realistic, just matters if it's rad. So, we've deployed. Let's click go. Oh, I forgot someone. Okay, the librarian's over here. Let's have a look at this map. We can press M for an overview. So this map, you can't rotate this, and it doesn't default to the same orientation as the actual map. You'll notice that here, this is my stuff. They're facing kind of towards the right, and here they're facing upwards. I need to rotate like this to align with the world map. Bit of a strange decision. I don't really know why it does that. We'll see a little bit of this as this goes along, but the short version is I really like this game, but the UI is a bit weird. We'll discuss that a bit later. So just having a look around because I've actually played the skirmish mode before, so I just want to check out the map. So as you probably gathered from the grid at the beginning, this is a grid-based game. Units can move through each other, but it costs a bit. Diagonal is mostly the same. Like a diagonal move or unit of range counts the same as a horizontal one, which is different from, let's say, Duelist. One very nice thing about this game is units have action points, which allow them to do the things like, shoot and do close combat and take other special actions. And then movement points, which allow them to move. And you can spend the movement points or action points on a unit in any order you want, across units as well. So I can move this unit 1, move this other unit 2, move this unit 1, shoot with this unit, shoot with this other unit, go back. You can do things like walk up, shoot, walk away, walk somebody else up, shoot, walk away, things like that. It allows you a lot of control, and I think there's a surprising amount of subtlety to it when you come to like moving units around in confined spaces and stuff. The other thing is units have a facing. You can see this kind of triangular area that I can see in. So the units have like a radius around them where they can always see, and then also the direction they're facing, they can see a little further. Really cool mechanic where you can set up your units to be like more aware of the enemy or try and keep an eye on where they're moving. Or like receive charges. Like you can, when you charge at people to get into close combat in this game, if they've got pistols, they can shoot back. It's one of my hero units, this Dreadnought. It has 2 action points, so you can attack twice or cast a spell and then attack or whatever. Every unit can also spend an action point to move a bit further. That's what these red ones are. Which allows you, it's kind of a sink for your action points when nothing is happening, like right now. And there is also an Overwatch option, which we'll probably come to like next turn. So for now, just to get things going, I'm going to move everything up a little bit. I don't know where the enemy are, but I'm presuming they're on the other side of the table from me. I've deployed this person miles away from everything, but he has this spell, Wings of Sanguinius. This is another hero unit, so he has 2 actions. So I can cast a spell and then attack or whatever. So this one buffs my movement and gives me more protection against ranged attacks. And now and allows me to move over terrain, so I can move like this, for instance. So we get a nice little flying animation. I have to shout out the voice acting in this game. 40K, as you have probably already guessed, or maybe already know, very hammy. It is the Brian Blessed of sci-fi games. Like, you know, it is very pulpy. Everyone yells all the time. Gets overexcited about purging the Xenos or whatever it is. There's lots of pseudo-Latin. But in this game, I think the unit box and the dialogue in the campaign is like surprisingly good. There's some stuff that's clunky. There's definitely some clunk. But I've honestly found it to be... It works surprisingly well for me. You do get tired of hearing some of the barks over and over again. There's one particularly long one that the lieutenant unit says that one grates. But for the most part, it works. Again, way better than I'd have expected. If you ever played Dawn of War, there were a lot of quite silly things the unit said when you clicked on them that they have not gotten better with time. You know, they're cultists going, "We captured it for chaos!" for like the 4th time does not work. This is cool. This is one of my favorite things about this game. So in XCOM, I think I might be peeking on the audio, apologies. So in XCOM, a big problem is what's called monster closets, which is where you're wandering around this map, it's completely dark, and you don't know where the enemy's spawn points actually are. And they won't do anything until you move near them, at which point they'll attack. And so if you trigger some enemies right at the end of your movement, or at the end of your turn, they get basically a free turn to shoot you to pieces and you can't do anything about it. That is a lot of enemies. In this game, you get these audio pings where your units don't know where the enemy are exactly, but you can tell where something is moving. I can't tell what it is, so it might be something big or it might be something small, but you get some clue as to where the enemy are, and that helps with A, avoiding stumbling into enemies you didn't know were there, and B, when you've like cleared out everything you can see. I'm just going to turn a compressor on to make sure I'm not peaking as much. So apologies for the sudden change in my voice. Yeah, when you... Oh, so I trying to thought. I do apologize. Oh yeah, the audio pings. When you've cleared the map and you don't know where everything is, they give you some idea of like, okay, there's an enemy in this direction that you haven't killed yet. There's nothing over that side. So I'm just going to inch this Landspeeder forward because I don't want to get too surprised by anything. Okay. I think the pings are all sort of over here, so maybe, I guess this unit is now officially on flanking duty. Right, this Dreadnought can take a lot of punishment, so I'm just going to pop his speed bonus ability and plod forward into the middle of the map and see what I find.
Grace through discipline.
Surprisingly little.
Confirmed.
Okay. So we haven't really reached engagement with the enemy yet. So what I think I'm going to do is put him in Overwatch. So this is if you played XCOM, you'll be familiar with Overwatch. It's basically a mechanic that says, okay, I'm going to skip the rest of my turn, and then when enemies come in like a certain area or a certain distance of me, I'm going to shoot them. In this game, the guns have like a range where they are most accurate, like a specific distance where they're most accurate, and then a maximum and minimum range outside of that. So for instance, this Stormbolter has a range of 1 to 6 tiles, and the optimal range is 2. So you can choose to set a distance that will trigger Overwatch as well. So you can choose to like, okay, I'm going to Overwatch from further away, or Overwatch this area that's like a short distance away, but accept an accuracy penalty, or I can wait until something gets right next to me for maximum accuracy. In this case, I will do that. Right, we'll just move everybody else up. This ability, this Wings ability, can be used every single turn, so I'm just going to keep popping that while nothing's happening. I'll just move in piece by piece again to make sure I don't get too caught out if there's something lurking right here. That we're good.
A wise course of action.
Overwatching with the Librarian probably won't achieve very much because he only has a little pistol. So I think I might move one further. And you can drag right mouse on a unit to change their facing. So I'll just do that. Maybe I'll send this other hero with him. That seems good. And everyone else can just run up. We'll use the jump pack on these ones so that they can fly over this wall here. These can just go up the stairs. These have jump packs as well, but I'm going to save them. The jump packs can be used every other turn, so I don't want to waste it just yet. Send everybody else up. I think that's everything. I guess I'll move this one forward as well. When you have the larger armies towards the end of the campaign, your turns can take quite a long time. But at this sort of scale, the game feels quite brisk. Oh god, here we go. This is our first turret. Ooh, hello. You know what, I'll tell you what, I'll show you the enemies when the camera's finished looking around. What is that? That's a Thornback, isn't it? So the enemies are beholden to the same mechanics of movement and action points as you, and the AI will sometimes do things like, you know, move a unit in, shoot, and retreat. It's not like the smartest AI in the world, which is fine for when you're, you know, playing the campaign. The mission setups are relatively... like, units are placed in the missions in such a way that they flow into and around you quite naturally, I felt. There were a couple missions where, like, there would randomly be enemies in a weird place. And they definitely don't play optimally. Like, they want sort of bully targets that they think they can take out. Necessarily. Right, so we have some little things. These are called Hormagaunts. They leap at units and try and cut them up with their claws. They do a reasonable amount of damage up close, but they're quite easy to deal with. Here we have some Termagants, which are little gun creatures. These are cannon fodder. Their guns are bad. They're bad. They're low priority threats. This thing does a ton of damage. You can see when you click on units, you get like a few of their stats. We've got their movement, their evasion, which is like makes them harder to hit basically, and their armor, which reduces damage. And then HP and this thing called momentum, which basically units gain momentum when they kill stuff, and then when they reach 100 momentum, you can they get an extra action, basically. And then it has a powerful, like a flamethrower type spray weapon, and then it can hit stuff with its limbs. So this UI is fairly comprehensive, but there's still some stuff that it doesn't quite tell you. Like, some of the units have abilities or special attacks that it doesn't explain. And you can actually see them if you go into the army management in the units. Like, you can play as the Tyranids in skirmish. And I think that's the only way of finding out exactly what the units do. So it can be okay if you're like, if you're up for just, you know, playing and figuring out through trial and error what the units do. It will provide that. I did find myself wishing I understood what was going on a little bit more the first couple of times I interacted with any given enemy. But I didn't find it to be a huge problem overall. The one thing I really wish they would do, this is my main complaint with this game, a lot of the weapon descriptions leave off crucial information. And it's different bits of information each time. Like this, it tells you the damage and the ranges and stuff and lots of the accuracy calculations. But it doesn't tell you how many shots it fires. And most things attack lots of times. Like if you've got a unit of Space Marines here, they have these auto bolt rifle. This thing shoots 12 times. I know that because I was just in the menu looking at it. Doesn't say here. So this unit between them will shoot like 60 times. So this pathetic gun actually, you know, can do quite a lot against small, you know, light infantry. It's really not obvious. You know, that isn't indicated anywhere. That goes double for like some of the melee attacks. Like a couple of the hero units can attack twice, and it doesn't say. And that makes a big difference to their damage output. But enough UI quibbling. Let's deal with this, shall we? So you can charge units if you've got like a clear path to them. So you can take your melee attack and kind of plant it on the unit. If you charge units and you hit them, they don't get to hit you back. But if you hit them in close combat, normally they do. So I kind of want to get this turn effect down to low enough HP that when I hit it the second time with my sword, it doesn't hit me back. So my Dreadnought doesn't take a bunch of damage. I've got these Howl Blasters nearby. These have an anti-heavy stuff plasma gun. Here's another thing that I wish was a bit easier to discern. So the range bands, this one, I want to be 5 tiles away. And it's kind of hard to count the tiles. Like, I can sort of do, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Here is good. It's here, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of hard to see them. If you mouse over the unit, it gives you these, you can see the little crosshairs on the ground, like the ranges, but they're, again, not super obvious. Like, it's not the clearest user interface in my opinion. But if my calculations are right, I can do this. If nothing else, at least you can walk your units forward like one at a time until you land. Okay, so we got the range right, but it's behind a wall, so I'm 59% to hit. On this, see, when you mouse this over, it tells you the damage and the number of times that you'll actually fire. This unit has an ability where I can make them do more damage, but sometimes they take a bit of damage. I think that's fine. We'll pop that. Nope. Right click.
Plasma coils fully overcharged.
Okay, one of them got hit. That's fine. Please don't miss. Okay, all but one of them missed, but the one that hit dealt like 100 damage, so you win some, you lose some, I guess. Are these in range to attack? They are not. Right, let's... Oh, that's another silly voice line. We are the walls, we are the guns. No one would ever say that. Right, so I'm going to use the jump packs on these now so that they can cross a little extra distance. They want to be 2 tiles away for their plasma pistols to work most optimally. So I'm going to put them here. And they should still have 1 movement point left after this. So I can tuck them into the corner to give them a little safety. Oh no, I can see the enemy, that's helpful. So lots of little infantry. That's all the pings, I guess. And then these venom throats, which are like heavier infantry with a poison ability. They're quite scary, but then Buzzway, so I don't really care. I'm going to shoot this. Here's another thing I really like about this game compared to XCOM. You can issue commands to other units while units are acting. Like, I can have all these units moving at the same time. And it makes the game flow so much more smoothly. Oh, I messed up. These units are called... These are called Aggressors. They have... they're kind of close range, relatively tough frontliner units. They have high armor and HP. They have this grenade launcher that's like an arcing fire ability that doesn't cost action points. It takes a few turns to reload. But it means I can use this to clear out one unit while I shoot at a different unit. So we're going to do that. We're going to fragstorm these. might kill them. Didn't kill them. Alright. So, well, 2 of them survived on 1 HP, the others are bad. The other's dead, so that's fine. That means they won't have very much impact and they'll block space. So, I'm out of movement, so I can't get any closer. This gun has an optimal range of 1, but that's fine. We'll just shoot from slightly further away. In the meantime, let's get these auto bolt rifles taken for a spin, shall we? What have you got? Shoot at something further away. I guess we can start getting some pressure onto this this Thornback, this other large unit. Can my librarian reach the big monster? Yes. Should my librarian reach the big monster? That is a separate question. I think we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to get the Juggernaut, the Dreadnought involved. So we're like slightly disfavored to kill it. But we should be alright. Okay, so this unit was on Overwatch, so they get to shoot at him, but it doesn't matter. Okay, that was a solid hit, so it should kill it the second time. It overwhelmed the enemy, so it moved backwards. But thanks to some nice glitching there, I just walked into it. There we go, so it's dead. Right, my Dreadnought is now kind of out in the open in front of everybody, but that's where I want him to be usually, so that's fine.
The librarian can assist you in this matter if it must.
The only really concerning thing is the Thornback, which does a reasonable amount of damage. I'm not sure I have much available to soften it up.
Landspeeder crew awaiting orders.
This Landspeeder is literally a million miles away from everything, that's bad. I could drop these Death Company into the middle of... Oh no, their jump packs are off. Never mind. I'll just move them here and they can jump in next time. Right, what am I going to do with these hero units? I think we're flying, that's for sure. Oh, I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to cast this Blood Lance and try and take out these 2 units. I wonder if I can... No, not quite. The other option is to go here and try and hit this, but that puts the Librarian out way too far in harm's way, I think. This healer, he's too far out of range to do anything, so I think we can just move up. Oh, we got shot at for something. More Overwatch, I guess. Right, we'll do this. This is like an AoE spell that travels through 2 tiles, so it'll finish off those. Reduce that to only 2. Can't move any further, which is a little unfortunate, but should be okay. Right, they've still got some movement points left. You can see the little icon here that lets me know they have an action and these have some move. Let's bring them forward because we'll need them to deal with stuff later. Yes, yes. Death Company are another... Let's see anything? No. Right, the Landspeeder will have its day in the sun next turn. So I think that's everything. There's a handy button here that tells me about unused units. So we can move, we can buff melee damage. This Javelin really doesn't have very much to do, so I'm just going to fall this Hormigaunt in half.
My chainsaw thirsts for their blood.
That's what I'm talking about. And that seems to be everything. No more unused units. So once that animation finishes, we can end turn. Right, now we get to see the damage. I hope my Dreadnought doesn't die. That's bad. Quite a lot of his HP already. To be fair, so most of these small units can't really threaten a Dreadnought because they have very high armor. These ones can, the Gene Stealers. They're like kind of, I guess, medium infantry. They do quite a lot of melee damage. 52. Oh, that's not too bad. HP is a resource to be spent. Ideally in service to the Emperor. They're going to do nothing. These warriors are potentially a threat. They only have Devourers. They have bad guns. Devourer is a... Oh, what? I didn't even realize that was there. I didn't see it behind the terrain. That's a bit spooky. That's a lot of buffs on it. Some melee armor piercing. Alright, so we've got the Turbogun is like this big thing that can birth small cannon fodder units. Dreadnought's doing alright. Those are out of range. Oh, there's more Venom Throps over there as well. Lurking. Looks like they didn't use... These units have an ability that can like corrupt an area of ground that makes you take more damage when you're standing in it. And they didn't do that, for which I am very grateful. I guess they attacked instead. So... I should hit my librarian, that's fine. One thing that this game doesn't have a lot of... Oh, God. I did not want to see that. Oh, how is there so much stuff? What is this? Oh, my days. That's very bad. Friends, we might not win the skirmish. This is not good. This is a hive tyrant, like the signature. There's more? Good lord. They kind of one of the signature units of the Tyranid faction in 40k in general. It's like if you've seen Aliens, I think the original design of it was based on the Alien Queen. This version's evolved a little bit, but you can kind of see like it has like the ridged head and stuff. Very heavy inspiration there. Of course, the Alien Queen can't fly, so Games Workshop wins at that one. Right. My Dreadnought is in the middle of literally everything. It can give itself some armor and bonus HP, which might be a good idea, because I can't kill all of this stuff with one extra attack. But maybe that's what my friends are for. I can buff melee damage, which might be a good idea on these two. And I can send the Death Company in over the wall, which maybe they can attack these Gene Stealers from behind. That seems like a good idea. What I could do is walk them here, walk this guy here, pop the buff, is this ability that buffs the melee damage of everyone near him, and then activate the jump packs and go over there. I think I should have enough movement to do that. Maybe you can only jump once in a turn. I forget exactly. So that's another thing. If it said that, maybe it's fine. I'm unconvinced. I'm not going to risk it. I'll just send them around the back. They're probably going to die, but it's fine. They're like reasonably tough. They can handle themselves a little bit. And more importantly, they can also deal some substantial damage to these Gene Stealers. Should make them a little easier to clear off with, let's say, some of my standard infantry. These have an optimal range of 4. So no, I should be killing this first. 50% hit. If I move them to the side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see. They need to be further back as well, because their optimal range is 5. So if I move this unit forward 1, these can slot in here, which should give them A, a better line of sight, and B, more accurate range. There we go, 70%. The damage buffs abilities on cooldown, so I'll just have to shoot normally, but they hit fairly hard. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Get out of there. Lovely. Right, that makes things a lot simpler. And send in the Aggressors to maybe punch the Venom Thropes a little bit. That seems like a good idea. They have like fairly hefty melee attacks. And I'm going to pop this, which is, you can use this every other turn. It makes them deal more damage with their guns, but they take more damage in melee, so you just use it when you're not going to get hit. And everything will be fine. Excellent. Punch these. That was okay. Did a bit of damage. I wonder if... Oh, that's on cooldown. Oh, I should have used this. I would have killed the Gene Stealers and these. I guess I can move over here and then pop it on everything for massive amounts of damage. That might be a good idea. Moving through this tile, you can see there's an arrow here. The Hormagaunts will get to attack because the units have like a little zone of control in front of them where they can counterattack or attack you if you move away. I'm not sure I really want that. Like, it won't kill him, but it won't be great. Giving these out in front. Oh, you know what? Let's do it. It's a demonstration of the mechanics, right? So the zone of control triggers. Dear God, that's more damage than I expected. Wow. It prevented the movement. So if I move again, I have to take another attack of opportunity. That is gruesome. Okay, I guess I'll just pop this here. So this is like an AoE damage ability. It doesn't do very much, but it hits units individually. So it should kill... Oh, it doesn't kill them. Does enough. Kills one of the Venom Tropes. It's not too bad. I have another action. I can shoot them. Would be a good idea, actually. Get your pistol out. Alright, what else is happening? These should be able to help deal with the Venom Tropes, because they have good kind of anti-heavy infantry plasma pistols, which would then allow the Dreadnought to deal with these. Oh, most of them are dead. We can just kill those off with intercessors. I'm just going to zoom in and check out these unit banners. They can get in the way sometimes of like between the corpses and the icons. It's kind of hard to tell what's still alive. There's one Venom Throat that's on low HP, two Hologrons that are on low HP. Yep, Gene Stealers. They're still doing fine. These have acted. We've got a Sanguinary Priest. I messed up slightly. I've kind of blocked my own movement a little bit. Right, if we move these forward, they should be able to finish off this Venom Throat, I think. I hope. Please, come on! Ah, that's fine. That's okay. This is one of the things where the heroes all have these like kind of crummy pistols, but they're useful for finishing off units in this situation. Right, I think I'm going to fire the Stormbolter to just clear out these. Bit of a waste of an activation on a powerful unit, but it's fine. And then we want 160 HP. I guess I can just walk forward and pop the shield to engage the Gene Stealers. Try and chomp block. Might lose a Dread. Oh god, zone of control, I forgot. I am a fool. Damned fool. Oh no, that's so much damage. As you can see, this is going really well. Okay, hopefully that's enough to keep the Dreadnought alive for a bit. We'll send the Chaplain in to heal this other hero, who needs to get out of dodge. Doesn't have any movement points. Excellent. Guess I'll just put the Death Company in the way. Seems like a good idea. Right, who have I got left to act? Just the Landspeeder. Actually, that's good. Landspeeders are amazing. If I can avoid it from getting murdered by a Hive Tyrant, I think I need to send it around here. Like, it's got enough HP, but I don't really want to expose it to more than I need to. So we'll kill these. We'll try to. And then it also has a second gun underslung on it, which I am mostly out of range for. I guess I can move these. Oh, it has no movement left. Is it worth firing this second gun to probably achieve nothing? No. It costs no AP, but it has a cooldown of every other turn, which also isn't shown on the mouse over thing, which, like, it's very annoying. So it shows the cooldown on this, which is an ability, but not on the weapon. Again, definitely could be better in that respect. Let's send these in the hope the Gene Stealers attack them instead. They can take a turn of getting hit. But I fear I may have overextended a little. Never mind. It's for science. We'll just bring these up behind. I think that's my turn. You can speed up the enemy turn, which is quite nice. It speeds up the movement animations, but not the attacks. So the combat doesn't look completely ridiculous, but the movement can look quite funny. All these units like scuttling forward. So you can see they got to counterattack there. They don't have melee weapons, so they did hardly any damage, but they got to counterattack. Okay, I'm glad it's over there doing something that isn't immediately murdering all my stuff. Wait, what? They called it air support? What was that? Oh, he's gonna die now. Yeah, there he goes. That's a yikes. I have apparently killed more points worth of them, or scores worth of them than they have of me, according to this thing at the top of the screen. But that may not be the case for much longer. Okay. He's just tagging it all. The nice thing about high armor units is they can shrug off small arms fire pretty effectively. What's it showing me now? Okay. Right, they're attacking that, which is fine because he's undamaged. This is not good. I've killed a few enemy units, but I am really in the mix of it now. Time to pop some grenades, I think. So my basic infantry have a grenade that they can throw instead of using their gun, which is guaranteed to instant kill these small units. So it's really good for clearing them out. Very reliable. Oh, not guaranteed. I guess they have more armor from something. 1 armor. It does have armor piercing 1, so it should have killed them. I guess maybe there's some other mechanism I'm unaware of. That's really annoying. I guess he can kill them. Right, let's see. So these are definitely going to die. They'll die when whatever they hit counterattacks them. I guess I can attack these from behind though. That should work. Oh, I can use the flamethrowers. Then they won't get counterattacks. Don't know if this is enough damage actually. This is just the 2 of them left. It was not. That was a mistake. Let's see. Right, we've got some Venom Thropes, got some Warriors. I should deal with these because they buff the units near them, I think. Yes. Can this Dreadnought do? Kill them with a Stormbolt to hit them with the sword, maybe. Probably use these to take out either the Venom Thropes or the Warriors. Neither are particularly easy to hit, but if I step back, one will be in the optimal range. Or the Imperium, indeed. How are we doing? 51%, 42%. Alright, I'll shoot them then. I'm going to risk taking some more damage in order to get more damage in. Because they're far at the back, they're in safety. I like to play these with the... Fine. I like to play these with the healer unit. Because it's very easy to undo the effects of the overheat. Oh yeah, they have a grenade as well. It's not in range for that, but I could shoot those the normal way. I think that should be enough. Oh. Good, good. Right, I think I'd like to get the aggressors involved with these warriors. So if I use this, kind of the little auxiliary weapon to clear out these damaged Hormigons. Just about. And we can get these here. And punch the warriors a bit. They're still on full HP, they're still on full HP. We're good. One of them apparently missed. Great. That's reasonable damage though. What are you going to do? Cry, I think. What do we got left? So they've already acted. I'm just going to use them as a speed bump for this big thing. This hasn't acted yet. How much damage do I get? 2 to 3 times 42. Or if I do that twice, it might be enough to kill them. One of these folks. Well, that is a lot more damage. Well, I'll take it. It should be fine. This unit is really good. I found the Inceptors, they're amazing. Right. If you engage these and beat them up. Oh! Critical insta-kill, I love that. Now I get to do something else as well. Like, shoot these termagants. And because I've removed the unit that was engaging my Inceptors, They can just leave, which is great because they have no health. So you're going to go and hide over here. Who needs the most healing? Well, probably them, but they're going to die anyway, so I don't think I care. I'm just going to go and heal my plasma unit, I think. You know what? I forgot to use... I should use this. I missequenced. This unit is nearly at full momentum. So I think I'm going to use my gain momentum ability to pump this. So now that he's on full momentum, I can move further, and I can also use the... I can spend the 100 momentum to either Surge for an action point, or Empower to buff one of my abilities. I'm going to Surge, and I'm just going to use my extra point to kill more stuff. Nice and simple. Those are gone. Right, this is going alright. We've still got 2 huge things to deal with, but I've cleared out the bulk of the immediately threatening infantry. Should I chainsaw some warriors? It's not super likely to kill them. I could kill these instead. Or probably I should just self-heal. Right, we need to rotate some new units to the front line. Ooh, this still has a heavy bolter it hasn't fired. 56%. Let's move it forward so I can get a better angle on those. So if I move the Dreadnought back here, these intercessors forward, these ones forward. 1, 2, 3. Go here. Oh wait, 3 is the optimal range, isn't it? No, 4. 80%, that's more like it. Right, this should kill at least one of them. They want to stay where they are because they're still in the warrior's zone of control. That's excellent. These Landspeeders are so good, I tell you. They're really cheap as well in terms of the points mechanism that I was talking about earlier. They're super affordable. I really need these Hellblasters to not die, so I'm going to hide them in case the Hive Tyrant comes knocking. You should be facing the correct direction. I'm just going to put this here. I think I want my Chaplain frontlining, but it's probably fine. I'm going to put him here so that the Termagants have to like back away in order to attack effectively. And then they might get chainsawed in the face if they move. So that leaves, there's a unit over here. There's this Hive Tyrant. There's this Tervagon. Which, like, Tervagons are not that threatening. They're kind of slow, but they do a reasonable amount of damage. Like, these 2 are definitely dead unless it somehow misses. And that seems to be everything. Oh, they're also poisoned, so they're gonna die immediately, or one of them is. Ow. Okay, so the air support strafe attack also poisoned my units for even more damage. Good lord. That was powerful. You okay there, physics engine? I have no idea what that just did. You know what? It didn't shoot my units, so I'll take it as a victory. Yeah, you can go hide over there, that's just fine. What did it just do? Can I... Oh, never mind. Good lord. I am very glad that I used the heal. Because he would have died. Okay, that's birthing more units? Yeah, it is. Gross. It's going to attack these and then probably die on the counterattack. No, I think only the hit model gets to counterattack. Yeah, okay. I quite enjoy the combat animations where like enemies get knocked over and stuff are really good. It definitely does the thing where the units like walk to the place. They stop. They pause for a moment. They go and do their little attack animation. Then they walk back. Then they stop. Like, it's a little clunky, but also because you can queue up multiple units at the same time, the fact that the animations are a bit slow doesn't really matter. Like, you can watch them if you want. I often do, just because sometimes, you know, a decision predicates on it, but oh, we can fire these immediately. That's helpful. Let's start with that. Damn. But generally, I'm very sorry. I distracted myself. Lost my own train of thought. Oh yes, animations. Yes, they are a bit slow and clunky, but you can mitigate it with just queuing up multiple things at once. So it's not really a problem. in my opinion. Right, what am I going to do about this horrible thing? Turvagon is very easy to hit, minus 40 evasion, so I should probably just kill that. Let's count the range. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. These the Hellblasters, like, their accuracy is terrible, but they do a lot of damage when they hit. So against units like this that are very slow and are very easy to hit, there we go, look at that. Get out of there. Right, my priest is nearly dead. These are fine. How much damage do I get? 1 to 2 times 60. That is more than enough to finish it off. I think shooting them is a good idea. They're in cover, but... oh, I can grenade them instead. That's a better plan. Yeah, let's have these finish this off. Oh, I killed some of them. Freeze these up to go and wander up to the Turvagon and punch it. 45 times 60 times 45 to 60 times 3. That's more than enough to kill it. Love to see it. This is on cooldown, but the other one's fine. Right. I should protect something. There's a unit you can take that heals mechanical units, and I don't have it, and I regret that decision right now. Right, this should clear off both of those. That's good. Those are all really low. Guess I can finish them off with the Landspeeder, just to get them out of the way. I think what I want to do is I want to put the Aggressors, because they're like my highest HP unit right now, close to the Hive Turret to kind of distract it. So what I want to do is use my Dreadnought's shield ability to buff them. So we do this, and then they can go closer again. Oh yeah, I can engage it, that's a good idea. Right, you killed them. Which one do I heal? I guess probably himself.
The blood is strong. Do not falter.
If the healer dies, I don't get any more healing. Oh, I've got a surge. I can act again. I might save it for next turn, to be honest. And just hide.
Where I am needed. My duty is service.
Right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Still have some Inceptors who are also really nearly dead. I'm just going to hide them around this corner, and then next turn they can jump back over the wall to get into combat. So I'll bring my stuff a little closer. 73 HP, that's really low. How much damage does this gun do? Enough. Facing 5? I guess he might be fine. Give the evasion to make it less likely to hit, but that doesn't seem like it would help much. Well, I'll tell you what I can do is shoot them. I move forward a smidge. Put these here. There's another problem with the corpses. They look cool, but you can't see the movement dots. So sometimes you don't realize you have a movement option that you have.
Firing on the target.
Cool, they're gone. So I think that just leaves the Hive Tyrant. I should have enough hardware to deal with it. Unless it's got more nonsense waiting in the wings for me. Fingers crossed on that front. Just going to move everything forward. A little bit. This will just maximize my ability to deal damage to it next turn. I need these the most. So I think they're actually going to hide. Same with the Inceptors. They have a long range, so they can just pop out and do their thing. My Dreadnought might die here if the Hive Tyrant chooses to bully it, but I accept that risk. Because we've nearly won. Ooh, unspent action points, you say? Oh, right, yeah. Sure.
Defensive zone set.
I have some Overwatch. Right, so I think it's going to attack them. That was some fairly severe... It's not 2 HP. Yikes. I think the Hive Tyrant has 2 actions, so it's probably going to kill them now.
Avenge them, brothers.
Well, gross. But hopefully I should have enough stuff left to deal the final points of damage. So my only remaining useful melee units are the Sanguinary Priest itself and my Dreadnought, so just pop this right here. Is anything close enough to surging to embrace the blood? Yes, this Landspeeder. We'll do this to give the Landspeeder the ability to act twice. So, start by shooting the assault cannon at it, and these need to retreat to get a better firing angle. It costs more to move through units, but I only need to put them here, so it's fine. Shoot there. Right, you're going to move over here to get in the optimal range for the heavy bolter. Oh, we got good damage already. That's not bad. The Dreadnought is going to risk rumbling into close combat. I'm going to charge, so the Hive Tyrant doesn't get to counterattack the first attack. So we should get the hit. Yep, and then overwhelmed, that's good. Then we'll just shoot it some more. As you can see, the basic guns do very little to it because of all the armor it has. Shoot it again with this because I can surge. And then finally we'll attack it a second time with the Force Halberd and it should die. In fact, the Landspeeder might kill it, to be honest. There we go. And I win! Hooray! We did it. You know what? It looked a little dicey there, didn't it? That was a bit spooky. But I really like the way this game allows you such granular control over the movement. I think it does a nice job of like, because of the ranges that it incentivizes you to be at with the different weapons, and sometimes units have multiple abilities with different effective ranges. As well, like the Landspeeder, where they had the assault cannon that was 2 optimal range, and the heavy bolter that was 4. So you're like moving around to different firing positions. It kind of encourages you to like rotate units in and out of the fight, because you can do that, you know, as long as you've got a little bit of space to maneuver. As you saw there, it was quite easy for me to like overlap units back and forth. The only problem is like it's quite easy to miss some of the UI elements, like the little arrows that say there's a reaction attack or zone of control when you walk in front of an enemy unit. Those are really easy to miss. And it's not always easy to tell which way a unit is facing. Like some of them, especially if you're not familiar with 40k, like some of the creature designs are such that like they could be facing in any direction really, I don't know. Like the venom throats, the little poisony things, they're just blobs of tentacles. I don't know what they're doing. But besides the UI quirks, which, you know, did annoy me, like they are a legitimate complaint. I hope they get fixed at some point because it doesn't seem like a million. It seems like something that could be patched. Obviously, you never know how things are behind the scenes and how the code base works and stuff. Like, it also seems like the sort of thing that they could have easily thought of when making the game. But I hope they find a way to patch it in at some point because that's basically my only real quibble with it. I really, really enjoyed this game. I found myself compelled to play it loads. Like I was playing it instead of... I don't think I played any other games while I was playing through it. And partly that was just wanting to like keep up my momentum and not dilute my experience. Because like it's quite easy to put games down and then not come back to them sometimes. But I really enjoyed this. I found that like... Although it's not a super... I don't want to say complex. The rules can be a little complex. Obviously, the game handles all the shooting for you. You're not sitting there rolling dice and memorizing, you know, how the damage system works so you can do it yourself. But it still benefits you to know, you know, to be comfortable with the effective ranges and the way armor works and things like that. Which, you know, you pick it up. Like I didn't find it hard to learn, but it's got quite a granular system. But it doesn't look like it has a lot of depth, right? Like it's just, you know, complicated shooting rules don't mean anything. But I actually found that like between the movement mechanics, allowing you all that granular control, and the fact that all these weapons have A, different effective ranges, and B, are effective against different targets. Sometimes there are multiple abilities that do that on the same unit. Like for instance, the Aggressors, the big frontliners, they have fists that are good against heavy infantry, because they deal high damage with a low number of attacks, and those pistols underneath that are really good against small infantry. And each individual such decision is not super complicated. It's like, okay, yeah, I'll stand this many units away and shoot the thing that it says to shoot in the weapon rules, basically, right? But when you multiply that across an entire army and mix in some, what I found genuinely satisfying game feel and sound effects, like the sound of the bolters firing never gets old and stuff like that, I really found it compelling. I found it fun to come up with solutions to the situations it presents you with, and I think it's quite a good game for playing against the AI. Like, AI in strategy games tends to be kind of stupid, right? Either deliberately so, or because, you know, it's skirmish AI, but it can never really replicate human decision making. But that's good in this game. Like, again, similar to XCOM, where you can try and like bait the enemies or whatever. Encouraging them to attack things that aren't very efficient for them to attack, like rotating units on and off the front line, works. Whereas, like, if I was playing against a human player there, they would easily be able to pursue my damaged units as I retreated them. And that also means that you can take, you can try stuff and take risks and like mess up once or twice while playing the campaign and still, be able to fix it, be able to back it up and protect your units for the most part. I did lose a few units over the course of the campaign, but, nothing major. It wasn't like XCOM where like you're beholden to die rolls to not, you're always on the precipice of throwing in the towel because of one unlucky roll or, coming one tile too close to a monster closet. It really didn't give me that feeling. It's not as hardcore as XCOM, but I think that works in its favor. It makes a really nice kind of intersection between the game being quite crunchy and relatively strategically satisfying, and being challenging. Like, it's not, I didn't find it wasn't like plain sailing, but you always have options, and I really appreciated that. I would genuinely recommend it, like, to non-40k fans. It's hard to obviously completely set aside my my love for the setting, and you will definitely get more of a kick out of it if you know what all this stuff is before you start. But you don't need to. Like, you don't need to have memorized. You don't need to know who the Blood Angels are or whatever for the game to make sense, I don't think. You still, it's pretty obvious from the rules that, like, plasma guns are better against heavy infantry and, normal rifles are better against light infantry, and that kind of makes sense, right? That's so relatively intuitive. And all the stuff about, all the poor Latin and nonsense about Primaris Marines and the Emperor and stuff, you don't need to know that to actually, like, play the game strategically. So it can be background detail. Enjoy the hammy voice acting. It also has multiplayer, which I haven't gotten to try yet, but I would like to. Including asynchronous multiplayer, where you can make a turn and then send your opponent the turn, and then at some point they can, open the game client and make their own turn. I love that. When was the last time you saw a video game with asynchronous multiplayer? Like, that, that kind of turn-passing multiplayer. Yeah, it's really cool. It's also a lot cheaper than real Warhammer, but kind of surprisingly similar. So if you're interested in playing real Warhammer but have avoided it because of the cost, this might be the game for you. I think we've just crossed the hour mark. I have, as always, gone on a bit longer than I intended, but I hope this was at least reasonably informative or useful if you got this far. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Have fun.